crazy thing. Yeah, as long as we can hear each other. Um, but Senator Mullen was talking to Benny on the Benny show this morning, and he said there's actually 12 investigations going on about 12 separate people at the FBI that tried to basically shut down all conservative voices on the internet that have news channels on YouTube. And I think it's important that these people are investigated and held responsible for what they did. This is a violation of free speech. People like Benny get on YouTube and they say exactly what's going on. They tell you the truth. If you don't like the truth, well, that's on you. But we have to find out who these people are, and we have to investigate them and then punish them. And it's like Senator Mullen said this morning. He said if these people are all fired, then they have to get a subpoena and go after them. If we do the investigation while they're still working at the FBI, we can go to the FBI and say, hey, you said this on this date. Why did you say this? And so on and so forth. And that they could use the Office of Inspector General at the FBI along with Cash to find out what's really going on. When you have a leftist like Mark Zuckerberg go on Joe Rogan and say, you don't understand the handcuffs that was put on me, and I don't like it. And then he said, the handcuffs are finally off. I can get back to my base core audience and get away from this government managed stuff. Which I laugh when I hear that, because he should have been more vocal when it was going on, right? He should have said, hey, this, that, and the other is going on. But instead, he shut his mouth and he complied. That's what he did. He kept his mouth shut and he complied. Which, that's not good. That he just, when you just shut your mouth and comply, that means they win. They now control you. And I think it's interesting that we have so many people that have left the Democrat Party. And when they talk about it, they say, I didn't leave the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party left me. I find that all interesting. And hey, Zach. No, I got tied up doing stuff around the house. I still got more to do out in the yard, but this is very interesting. I don't know if you remember, Elvis Chan was responsible last late summer, early fall for basically trying to silence conservative voices on YouTube and basically on the internet. He works for the FBI, and he's responsible for ALX, which is Benny Johnson's producer. Elvis Chan erased all of his content and accounts on Facebook, on several social media accounts, and it was great pain for him to get them back. He finally got them back, but now Elvis Chan is being investigated by Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, a Republican from Oklahoma. And Senator Mullen is tough as nails. He said he's actually leading 12 separate investigations on 12 separate people at the FBI. And he said this goes all the way to the top. It goes to Director Wray, and it also goes to Merrick Garland. He said because if Director Wray knew that this was going on, then Merrick Garland knew because Wray reports to Garland. And this come up just this morning, like about 10:30. I'm not surprised, but Senator Mullen's take on it was really interesting. He said it's better that we investigate them before they get fired, because he said before they get fired, we can have our investigator from the Senate and Kash Patel go to these people individually and say, hey, what were you doing with this? Why were you doing this? Why were you erasing content creators' social platforms? Well, not the content creator, but their people that work for them, producers. It's just very disturbing that people like Mark Zuckerberg sit there and say, well, you don't understand the handcuffs that were put on me, that I was forced to do this. You should have been opening your mouth saying, hey, violation of free speech. But instead, he kept his mouth shut and just did what he was told, so he's part of the problem. That's just my view on it. You can't sit there and comply with what they're doing and then later say, oh, well, I was forced to do that. What a load of garbage, huh? What a load of garbage. Just crazy, ain't it, Zach? Because, if you just buckle down and say, yes, sir, I'll do what you say. You can't go back later and say, hey, I was forced to do that. You just need to say you were forced to do it right when it's going on. You got a social media platform, and you could go out there and say, hey, the government is forcing me to do X, Y, and Z, and make it known instead of shutting your mouth. That kind of thing gets me really, really amped up, because we have free speech rights. In Europe, they do not. Right now, in Europe, here's what's going on. If you post a meme and somebody else says, hey, that meme caused me anxiety, you get arrested for posting the meme. That's going on in England right now. Right now. And they sit here and say they're champions of free speech. What a load of bullshit. If you're a champion of free speech, you would not be arresting your citizens for simply reposting a meme. I play a game called Puzzles and Chaos. I have friends in Europe who tell me the bullshit that's going on. And it's not good. The way I view it is this last election was a choice between still being free in being a communist country. And I say that because Kamala Harris, her her mom helped create MK Ultra in India, which is the Communist Party of India. Her dad was a Marxist, is a Marxist economics professor. She lied in the debate against Joe Biden, all that BS about her being the little girl that was bust. Candace Owens did a deep dive and found out she was born in Los Angeles, and then they moved to Montreal. I think it was Montreal, one of the rich suburbs around either Montreal or Toronto. I think it was Montreal. So that was an outright lie. Because she did not grow up poor. She grew up rich. Her parents were rich. They lived in Canada. Up there they call it an affluent suburb, which we call a rich suburb. We came very close to this country going away for good. And I do not support that at all. Not at all. I support Trump not because I'm a conservative Republican, because it's the right thing to do. You know, we've been getting trampled on by other countries for decades. Here's an example. I talked about this the other day, we charge Japan a 2% tariff on rice. They charge us 700% on rice. Tell me how that's fair. Tell me how it's fair that we charge them 200% and they think they can charge us 700% for the same product. That's not fair. People talk about fair trade, free trade, and that's about us giving our country away, giving our products away. We need to have what are called reciprocal tariffs. Reciprocal tariff simply means if you charge us a tariff, we're going to charge you a tariff back. That's all that means. And these people on the mainstream media saying, oh, it's going to trash the economy are full of shit. We're correcting the wrongs that have been done to us for decades and decades and decades. This goes back all the way to Jimmy Carter, which was in 1977. He started this free trade nonsense. Then Bill Clinton came in and brought NAFTA, and when NAFTA was enacted, hundreds and hundreds of manufacturers left the United States. We don't manufacture anything anymore. And so what Trump is doing is getting manufacturers to bring their plants back here, which will boom the economy. Yeah, it will take a couple of months, and we'll have a couple of months of pain, but then the result will be that we will have more manufacturing than any country in the world, because we have stipulated if you build it here, manufacture it here, there will be no tariff. Yeah, they were allowed to take advantage of us for 3 decades. This is just disgraceful. It really gets me going. Because, our previous presidents allowed this to happen. It's like they wanted America to be destroyed. They wanted us to fail. And that's not okay. We should not be having presidents that want our country to fail. That's just ridiculous. We got to put a stop to this. We got to put a stop to it. You know, and the three bills that the House is voting on tomorrow will lower the price of cars because Joe Biden's crazy ass put so many regulations on cars. Well, we're going to find out. Um, here's what Joe Biden did in 4 years. He put in regulations that state that gas-powered vehicles have to reduce their emissions output by 75% by the year 2030. That's a bunch of BS. And it's even worse on diesel-powered trucks and cars. All this, basically, like they put like a catalytic converter on a truck and this Blue Death bullshit. You know, Blue Death is like $10 a gallon, and they have it so that all semi trucks have to have Blue Death. Blue Death is not required for a diesel to run. Blue Death is just a way to make it more expensive. Right. Any job is better than no job. It just really gets me going. All these people sit there and lie when if they did some research, they'd find out what they're saying is a bunch of bullshit. It's just craziness. You know, my dad was a truck driver all his life. He started in driving in 1940 something. And that was back when a truck was able to pull 20,000 pounds. Today, it's 80,000 pounds. Right. So, your best engine by far is a diesel engine because it has less moving parts. But what they have done is they have taken and added all these bullshit cylinders to tell the engine what to do, tell the computer rather to what to do with the engine, that if a dollar sensor goes out, your engine shuts off. This is just beyond crazy. And they're doing away with all of that crap. There's a guy I follow on YouTube. His channel is called TK's Garage. And he talks about the regulations and ones that are being removed and stuff like that. He seems to be a good fella. Just craziness. Absolute craziness. All right, that's what I got for you today. Thanks for tuning in, Zach. I really enjoy your company when you're on here. Tomorrow we'll be back at the regular time, 2 Eastern. Take care. Talk to you later. Bye for now.